Let's get that music down a little bit louder. Quiet.
Yeah, give me a second.
And welcome back to Happy Hour FM.
There's a lot of plates to spin over here.
Yeah, we got Chris in the studio. He's bouncing 16 vinyls on his hands and feet.
My name is Chris, also known as the artist formerly known as Jesus Christ Stunt Double. I am joined by the man, the half man, half pretzel, Justin Pretzel.
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Good
applause.
tidings. I'm Justin Pretzel. I live in your walls, and if you want to talk to us, make sure to stay in touch with our Instagram at Happy Hour FM.
That is our Instagram, and that is the name of our show, Happy Hour FM.
Welcome back.
It is an amazing show, and I think we've... What are you pointing at me?
Lower.
Lower? Still?
Yeah, we got it.
All right. I thought it brought some nice energy to the...
Oh, well, we're going to keep that energy going. Because, Chris, what do we got to talk about today?
Okay. Enough nonsense. Oh, wait. Actually, a little more nonsense while I look for...
A little more nonsense. Chris is a master of nonsense.
Yeah. Okay, we've got this, yes.
He
This background music.
explicitly asked to be on Faders.
Now, shut up. Now we've got background music and ridiculous introductions out of the way. I can introduce today's guest. Today we are joined by my very good friend and fellow art history survivor, Elena. Elena, how do you pronounce your last name? I bailed out on trying to pronounce it last second.
And hold on, for all listeners at home, this Elena speaking will maybe reveal where she's from. Please.
So actually, my surname is Trevisanello.
Trevisanello.
Yeah, and everyone in Italy is saying, "Oh, it's such a long name for a short girl."
Good one.
I feel like the Dutch should use that because, they're all tall and short names for tall people. They have a lot of short names like Fries,
Bart.
Jan,
Like Bart. Bart is a tall guy, right, Elena?
Yeah.
But his name is so short. Well, anyway. Elena is also currently interning at the Groninger Museum, one of obviously the most recognizable landmarks of the city, an integral part of its identity. And we will talk to Elena today about, what that's like, what has her experience at the job been, how that experience has differed from her other experiences that she has experienced in other places in the world, which are, have we guessed where Elena is from by this point?
Have we guessed? She mentioned Italy.
So Belarus, right? And we'll talk a little bit about the topics that Elena is researching currently, which has to do with Australian Aboriginal art. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool stuff.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I want to start by, before we get into any details, I want to say you're already one of my favorite guests just because you brought us cookies in the studio. To anyone listening, we never get cookies from our guests, but this time...
Elena is literally the nicest person in this entire city, and possibly the planet.
I can't believe we're interviewing the nicest person in the planet. Amazing.
Well, we should thank my grandmother for the recipe, actually.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Shout out to your grandmother.
Thank you, Elena's grandma.
Yeah.
Elena, two things. I will ask you to come a little bit closer to the microphone.
Oh, yeah.
And number two, tell us a bit more about yourself. Who are you? Where do you come from? And what are you? Just go for it.
So I'm from Italy. If you didn't listen or hear my accent yet.
It's amazing.
And I want to apologize, first of all, because I don't want to sound like a comedy character, but this is just my voice in English. This is just my accent. So I sound like Borat, but I know I'm much clever in my own language, I promise.
Italians are... they have fantastic accents.
It's a strong but very, very welcoming accent, I find.
It's super sweet.
Yeah, and I'm from Venice, actually between Venice and Padua, which is in the northeast of Italy. And I decided to move to the Netherlands because I thought that here the art history program, master program, suits me the best. Than the purposes and what was the offer in Italy.
Okay, interesting.
Okay.
What was the main difference between the offers?
Actually, in Italy, there is no offer.
That's a big difference.
Really?
No, that's not true, but it's really expensive.
Yeah.
There were some programs in Milan, but they weren't clear at all about what you were going to do after. And you weren't going to get another degree, but just a certificate of what you were doing.
That's not reassuring.
Yeah, I wanted to have a master degree.
For sure.
Milan's also a smelly city.
Yeah.
This shows diplomatic relations to Milan are not good. But okay, so your idea was come here, study art history. That was
More than studying art history, which I could definitely have done is in Italy due to its history and cultural heritage. It was to study curatorial studies and how to get into the museum world, how to know better the profession of a curator and all the environment related to the museum. And there is no actually master program in Italy about that.
Fascinating. What and in Italy, is it more sort of you follow a chronology of the history of art and you learn about the different movements, but not really how to apply that knowledge? Is that kind of the idea?
That depends on the professor who is teaching. I mean, then you can follow chronologically or thematically. It's upon the professor. But mainly there was no program that was teaching you how a museum works.
Right. Okay, you get that more practical knowledge here.
Yeah, maybe you have some theory about economic and the art market, but really what is the profession of as a curator, of a curator, you don't know that.
Okay, so why did you want to be a curator anyway?
I think since I was a child, I had the opportunity and actually the privilege to travel around Europe. And I visited a lot of castles, museums, and my parents were really into showing me the beautiful of Europe, of the world. And I think that inspired me.
Okay.
Very nice.
Cool.
Do you have a favorite place that comes to mind in Europe or the world? Or like top 5 or something?
Well, in my top 5 is Scotland.
Oh, I was there this year.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I love Scotland.
It's so amazing.
And I would like
green.
to go to Iceland.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was thinking of doing an Iceland trip with some friends, but it's tough. I think it's pretty expensive as well to do like a full round trip. But anyway, someday.
Iceland, in terms of cultural heritage, is very different from a place like Italy, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the reason why I would like to see it.
It's like a completely different sort of civilization, very rugged environment as opposed to Italy, where it's like greatest place on earth.
Everyone's lounging and enjoying the sun. And
in terms of like architecture and stuff, you have these huge, leftover medieval structures in a place like Italy, and then in Iceland, you still have a lot of old stuff, but it's just very different.
Yeah, I mean, in Italy, everywhere you are walking, everywhere you can see the passing of time and century after century, from medieval stuff, Roman stuff. And that is also reflected in architecture. So you have everything in the same place.
Okay.
Cool stuff. Should we listen to a little bit of music and then we'll come back talk about some other stuff? Elena, you brought some songs with you. Which one do you want to listen to first?
I think Il Tempo delle Cattedrali, because we just talked about architecture and this song is about architecture.
That fits nicely. I guess you can tell us a little bit about the song after we hear it. We'll be right back with Elena. This is Happy Hour FM.
Nell'anno del Signore 1482, storia d'amore e di passione, e noi gli artisti senza nome della scultura e della rima la faremo rivivere da oggi all'avvenire. Questo è il tempo delle cattedrali, la pietra si tante pietre e tanti giorni, con le passioni secolari. L'uomo ha elevato le sue torri, con le sue mani popolari, con la musica e le parole, ha cantato cos'è l'amore e come vola un ideale nei cieli del domani. E questo è il tempo delle cattedrali, la pietra si fa, statua, musica e poesia, e tutto sale su verso le stelle, su mura e vetrate, la scrittura e architettura. In questo tempo delle cattedrali, la pietra si fa, statua, musica e poesia, tutto sale su verso le stelle, su mura e vetrate, la scrittura e architettura. Crolla il tempo delle cattedrali, la pietra sarà dura come
Well, what a lovely song. So, what can you tell us about that song?
Actually, I loved it. It's blend made by Riccardo Cocciante, which is an Italian, I think, poet. And in these songs, they are speaking about how architecture, art is all entangled with poetry and music. There is no difference. And they are speaking about the Gothic period. And so these enormous and huge cathedrals with all these colors. But at the same time, in Paris, they were fighting against the pagan.
Okay.
And it's all about Quasimodo and
Love that
it's
guy.
poetry.
Fascinating. The name of the song translated to English is In the Time of the Cathedrals, right?
I think he has a completely different lyrics
okay.
and
Interesting.
title.
Okay.
Well,
Right.
welcome back to Happy Hour FM. We're
Yeah.
here with Elena, who is going to tell us a little bit more about museums, plural, and working as a curator.
Yeah.
I'm very curious, just to start off, what does that mean? What is a curator?
It's difficult to say what is curator. Should we start with what a curator is not?
Sure.
Whatever you feel
A
like is
baker.
appropriate.
Actually, a curator never stops learning.
Okay.
You have always to keep up with the news. You are, I'm feeling like I will never stop being a student.
Okay.
And
That's fun.
a curator is the person who actually organize and plan exhibition around the museums. It takes care about the collection and both the permanent collection and loans. But then it depends on how much a museum is big, how much the collection is diverse. And then you have a lot of different curators. Usually they are, like in a Groninger Museum, there are curators for contemporary art, curator of ceramic and porcelain from China, and curator for the Ploeg, which is an...
Local art movement.
Yeah. So actually then you specialize and you take care of art and you try to find a new solution, a new way to present, to exhibit it to a public which is not
Informed.
informed. So you're trying to reach everyone, from children to adults to professor, whatever.
Yeah, I remember when we talked to Bastian Vroegop, the games journalist. He did an exhibit at the Forum about Zelda, right? I think
I remember.
Right, it was part of it was asking, like, how do you generalize a topic like that for random people who maybe don't know anything. It's an important part, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be aware of a lot of things and rules, and you know that criticism can come from every side.
Okay.
So while planning it, you have to be aware of everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't want to avoid problems.
Yeah.
You want to do something that is smart, that can...
Do you go for the provocative sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you have to always look for that balance between still making people think, but also...
You don't want to offend.
Right. It's presented in a way that's still digestible, that you don't automatically turn off someone, like you still want to get your message across.
Yeah.
It reminds me, it's tangential, but my girlfriend 2 days ago, she went to some museum opening in Assen. And
Labyrinthia.
Yes, I wasn't familiar with the name, but there was something, she mentioned something where there, and I don't know the name of this person or whatever, but there was a body that was found a while back in like a bog. It was a bog body because it was preserved in like the mud, right? And for a while it just recently they changed how they presented it in the museum. They changed the narrative a little bit. Before it was maybe just like, okay, look at this body, here's facts. But now they make it a narrative where you try to like feel what that person might have felt moments before they would have died, you know? So I guess that's a part of creating an exhibit, right?
Exactly. It's a part of the research that there is behind an object. And maybe you have this narrative for a century, but then you want to find something else and you start this new research and then you bring up that story.
Yeah.
So this can be about Nazi-looted art, or now there is all this discourse around post-colonialism and how to exhibit objects that were looted or have like unprovenance sources.
Yeah.
What do you do at the museum?
So at the museum, currently I'm researching on Italian postmodernism and Australian Aboriginal artworks from the desert art movement, which are two completely different topics. Yeah, but I feel like it gives me a break. For 1 week I focus on Italian postmodernism, and the other week I change, so I don't get bored.
Yeah, no burnout, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you're a researcher.
Yeah, actually my role for now is to research, to know more about the means of acquisitions, to find out where some objects are, and to investigate the relation, in Australian Aboriginal artworks between male and female artists, and why the previous museum director that ruled in the museum between the 80s and 90s decided to acquire them. Why?
So you're gathering all of this information on these artworks that the museum has.
Exactly.
Why? Why is the information that you're gathering valuable to the museum? How do they use it afterwards?
Because I think they are going to present them one day, and they need someone that has enough time to research on them, because everyone else is busy doing, not living the present, but organizing nowadays exhibition or next immediate planning. Yeah. And when the research is done, it's done.
Yeah, I'm curious, what does this research kind of look like? With Aboriginal art, do you travel places to go see it, or what's your method?
No, I visit several times the depot of the museums. I look at the artworks. I'm reading a lot of books, and I'm trying to have both sources from the 80s and contemporary sources to make some comparison and to see how the history has been depicted.
Fantastic, yeah. That's a good call, yeah.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, with the way history changes, the way it gets written differently by different people, definitely.
Voices from the field, I'm trying to have an internship point of view from anthropologists, sociologists, art historians, politicians.
All different perspectives, all valuable. Yeah.
So then afterwards, all of this information will get used to communicate what these artworks are about to the public in some way.
Exactly, to find a new way, just to, rather than place them on a wall and say, okay, it was done by this and that, try a new narrative, behind them.
Yeah.
And I mean, just in the meta, what is the purpose of like exhibits? Why make exhibits for people? What's the point?
I think you go to an exhibition because you want to learn something that at home you can't learn. So that's the point in an exhibition. You're going to see something that you can see at home on your couch, and you want the live experience.
Yeah, right.
There are nowadays a lot of online exhibitions that you can attend, but I mean, I can feel the difference of being present and being 19 centimeters away from an artwork that's seen on a screen.
Yeah, it's a simple thing, right? If you stand in front of a giant painting versus looking at it on your screen,
exactly.
You feel it, right? If you can see the paint or something, right? Yeah.
So you intern as a researcher. That is your role at the museum, and you have this important role in gathering this information, which is then used when making exhibits and stuff. What other people come into play when making an exhibit? What other roles are there at the museum? How does an exhibit get made?
So for what I've learned until now, I can say that all the departments are involved in an exhibition, in a presentation of a collection, from the communication department and marketing, from digital communication, from education, and everyone has its own role, but everyone contributes to the making plan of the exhibition. And you have several meetings and you decide all together what you are going to present in the future and what could be an interesting idea and maybe what should be revisited later in time. An example could be a museum should avoid to have two big exhibition around the same topic. That could be same artists from the same group. Things like that.
I see.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And wait, I kind of forgot my question here.
Oh no.
That happens. Right. So for anyone who would, if someone wants to get into this field, what is kind of the avenue to do so? Do you need a degree first? Can you just start interning as security or reception or something
and just start reaching as like a bouncer?
Grow from there.
I mean, it depends the role that you want to have inside the museum. I don't know if the security or the information desk they need a degree to be there, but at the same time, I can see that everyone has the same level. It's not that because you have a degree or you are a curator makes you better than someone else.
Sure,
everyone is important in the museum, but I mean, if you want to be a curator, I would suggest a bachelor and a master degree. Personally speaking, I'm going also to look for a PhD, but that's
enough.
Personal.
Yeah. I guess it's competitive enough, right?
Yeah, there are not so many positions. There is still an old generation, not old generation, but the 60th generation that is still holding.
Right, they hold the front, What was it like for you to apply for interning?
I didn't actually have to apply.
Okay.
It was a part of the master program.
Lovely. That's good.
Yeah. And then I was kind of lucky that the Groninger Museum were looking for someone that was actually able to understand and read Italian.
Perfect.
Yeah, that
Amazing.
was me.
That's really nice. Very lucky.
What kind of people do you, well, I guess, don't throw anyone under the bus or anything, but what is the team like? It's like, do you work with a lot of young people? Mixed?
Both. It's a mix of generation, which I really appreciate and I like because I can see different point of view every time for every small decisions. At the same time, there are a lot of interns right now, so a lot of new faces. And they organize actually a lot of meetings during the week, and so you get to know everyone.
All right.
and everyone is extremely friendly, at least with me. I'm trying my best to speak Dutch there, which is not always easy. Everyone switch to English if it's necessary, but I really appreciate that since I asked, please, can you speak Dutch to me because I need to learn the language, and everyone is great.
So do you think that's the norm or the exception in this field, in this country, to be open to speaking English at meetings, stuff, at museums?
I think is unusual. I mean, I'm not asking to speak English to me.
Yeah.
And maybe they can start the meeting in English because you are there and they know you're not a mother tongue speaker.
Right.
But at the same time, if there is something too complicated for them to speak in English, they will switch in Dutch, and then the meeting
runs in Dutch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's my experience. It's been my experience with Dutch people. They're very accommodating. Where they won't try to speak Dutch with you if you're like, no, I want to practice, but then they'll like switch to English if you make a mistake, right? But then in meetings, I get that. Yeah, professional settings, you can switch to Dutch more. Yeah. Well, maybe before we get into another song, just briefly, what's it like coming to the Netherlands as an Italian person moving to Groningen? Just quick impressions.
Oh well, food was really a huge thing for me.
Yeah, of course.
I cried the first month.
You cried.
And seeing the prices of Italian products, I couldn't cook anything.
Oy.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm getting used to it, but still, I pretend to cook Italian every day.
Right.
Shout out to Elena's grandmother for the amazing recipe of these amazing cookies that she brought to the show.
That's a good bite, dude. That was crispy. They're really good cookies. They're not stale. They're really nice.
That came out well.
Nice. The food is a big thing. I also asked when we had Godioli on, the Italian professor. Same thing. Food, it's a minus here.
Yeah, it's also a stereotype of Italian, but it's true. Actually, we can't avoid it.
What can you do? The food is so good in Italy.
Yeah.
Well, what song do we have next, Chris? What can we play?
Don't ask me, man.
Elena, what do we have next?
What song shall we play next?
I would choose A Secret Love from Giovanni Allevi.
Ooh.
Secret Love by Giovanni Allevi.
Any reason you chose this song?
Tell us after the song.
Fair enough.
Here it is, Secret Love, this Happy Hour FM. We'll be right back.
It's Halloween season. Get spooked. Welcome back to Happy Hour FM.
Welcome back to, yes, that is the name of the show. We're here with Elena, art history student and intern at the Groninger Museum, and very good friend and very nice person who brought us amazing cookies to munch on during this interview. I munched on them while listening to this lovely song. Elena, could you tell us a bit about what we just heard? Where do you know this song from? Why did you want us to play it now?
Actually, I really like the artist Giovanni Allevi. It has been criticized a lot in Italy for not being able to make his own music, but I think, personally speaking, he's a genius. And as you really could hear, I know it sounds really like Secret Love. It was like
that's the name of the song.
Yeah. So it's the reason why I chose him. I think he's a genius in his own way.
Just like it.
Yeah.
Nice.
You mentioned you used to play piano as well?
Yeah, for 8 years.
It's a while. 8 years is a while. Yeah. Did you take lessons or?
Yeah. Actually, I was in school at the beginning, and I used to play with my best friend with 4 hands. It was amazing.
The duet, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Lovely.
And then the same teacher was coming at my place.
Some private lessons.
Yeah.
Lovely. Any reason you stopped? Is it just moving, studying?
I had the last year of high school. It was quite intense, and I had to stop.
Right.
Fair enough.
You had to prepare for those curator exams.
Curator exams.
But it was all languages, and I have to mix between Spanish and German and English.
Right. You did study art history as well in Italy, though, right?
Yeah, during my bachelor, but before in high school, I was studying languages.
Cool. Yeah,
But then you made the switch?
Because I thought when I was in Italy, we have to choose high schools when we are 13. And I decided,
pretty early.
That's early.
Yeah, I decided, okay, I will learn languages and then I will see what I like.
That opens up
Feel I can travel the world.
Yeah,
sure. Nice enough. Well, I mean, about research, you mentioned doing research on Aboriginal desert art. Yeah. And I found that very interesting. First of all, how did you come to that topic?
Actually, it was given to me.
Okay.
I didn't choose it. And there is actually not a lack of information, but no one in the museum has done this before.
Okay.
And so they needed someone. And so it's really interesting.
The museum had some paintings that are of this art movement.
Yeah, at least 20 paintings that I'm aware of.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And they were like, hey, we don't know anything about this. We need someone to read up on it.
They are, first of all, amazing. I hope one day they are going to show them back to the permanent collection of the museums. And they are huge, like 2 meters per 3 meters high. And
that's how big the paintings are.
Yeah, they are dots paintings. So they're actually all this, not ritual, kind of ritual, but you can see this path of dots.
Okay. For anyone who's on their phone or computer, you can look up Aboriginal desert art, and you can look up a picture to follow along with Elena's oral description.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult to explain because it's not Western art, so you don't have a clear iconography. So, but they are amazing, and so many nuances and shadows. But actually, this is not what Australian people used to do in the past. Because these paintings, before being paintings, they were like rituals done on sand.
Okay.
With the rocks.
Yeah.
But then, after with colonization and all the Australian government policy around the 60s and the 70s, they transferred these sand rituals through a new medium, the paintings and acrylics.
Okay.
So if I can slow you down a bit there. So these people, they lived at a certain place in Australia.
Exactly.
They were doing their thing, this ritualistic practice of making these images in sand and stuff. That was
at a larger scale, I imagine.
Yeah.
And then when the colonizers come, those people get displaced, and they no longer have access to the sand that they were using.
The art, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now they have to do the paintings. Is that it? It's out of necessity, or
no? Actually,
No.
not.
Okay.
It's not a necessity because they don't need to do it on canvas. But the fact that they were displaced after in the 16th, 70s, actually they were colonized even before.
Right.
But then, since they were displaced and they have no the same topography references, this sociologist, Geoffrey Barden, decided to give them a medium and to let them know about the art market. So that is the reason why they start painting.
So this Western dude introduced them to the Western idea of the art market.
And I think also capitalism and everything that revolves around.
Yeah.
Actually, there is nothing ritual in the painting itself. The painting itself is not sacred at all. So there are no ethical...
Nothing attached to it. Okay.
Yeah.
How does it come that the museum in Groningen has connections to Aboriginal art? Why does that happen?
For what I discovered since now is because they were famous. It started being famous during the 90s.
Okay.
And so everyone wanted them.
Sure.
There was this huge exhibition in Paris, and actually then it was a real life exhibition where these Aboriginal artists came to Paris, and they decided now we are going to do a ritual here. So they did it with sand and rocks, but then that place was sacred. And from that moment, it starts kind in Europe they decided to acquire them and to give them relevance.
So it became a trend here in Europe. Interesting, yeah. Not too long ago, I was in, I don't remember where, but I was at some sort of exhibition with about the kimono, right?
Okay.
Japanese, right? Say a similar thing. I mean, at some point, also Paris or whatever, like it becomes a huge. I think a bit earlier than when did you say what year was that?
It was 1985.
Okay, in the 80s. Yeah, no, it was definitely early. But same thing.
I think maybe during the 20s for Japanese.
And then it becomes like a rich person thing, and then it gets carried. It becomes this new trend, and I can see it. Yeah, interesting.
Do you have any outside of your current job, outside of your current research occupation? Do you have any favorite topics to research?
Well, definitely, I would like to pursue my research on Nazi-looted art.
Nazi-looted art.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
So art that the Nazis looted.
Yeah, exactly.
While they were Naziing and looting.
That's really interesting. So, I mean, I guess that could be art from a lot of different groups or countries.
Exactly, and all the ethicals and morals point of view in exhibiting this type of art.
Yeah.
And all the provenance research that needs to be done is still, we know a lot nowadays, but still a lot needs to be discovered.
Sure.
And we need justice for those owners that they were kind of killed, probably.
And looted,
That's what you did your master thesis on?
Yeah, exactly.
Is your plan to continue that with a PhD?
Yeah, I hope so.
Lovely.
Cool.
That's a cool topic, yeah.
Good luck.
I mean, on the topic of looting, there's like the meme of the British Museum, you know, how like a lot of it is like stolen stuff, right? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a huge controversy about that between the British Museum and then the Acropolis. I think it's the name Acropolis Museum in Athens. I'm sorry for all my Greek friends because maybe it's not the right name of the main museum in Athens. Right. But Yeah, there's written a lot about that. My personal opinion is that the marbles should be returned.
Okay.
To Greece.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Controversial. Yeah. But I mean, how did it get to the British Museum in the first place? Do you know? Or what's kind of is it just stolen goods? Is that it? Like,
actually, it can be said that they were stolen.
Yeah.
Nowadays, with our backgrounds and ethicals and moral, we can say that they were stolen. But by the time these archaeologists, I think, Elgin, there is one they're called also the Elgin marbles. Was an expedition in Greece. At the time there was in Greece this revolution happening, so they weren't concerned about their cultural heritage at all. And so actually he signed a paper through which was kind of legal for that time that he was taking part of the Parthenon to London.
He was like finders keepers.
Yeah.
My goodness.
All right. Well, speaking of your opinions on stuff, I have a question written down here. Being Italian and from Venice, I am sure you are no stranger to the sight of just hordes of tourists walking into an old church or some kind of old historic building.
Into the water.
Yeah,
falling.
For sure. But no, I remember when I was in the art history BA, we had a couple of excursions to Florence in Italy, and we would go into these churches again. And one point of conversation during our group meetings was, okay, these churches are all really great. Man, I wish we could experience them without the little ropes that tell you where to go and the little exit signs above the, 14th century doors and stuff. But then you need those to kind of direct the flow of tourists and stuff. Like you need to kind of pollute the heritage with this modern stuff to kind of keep people in line, instruct them where to go, where not to touch in order to preserve the heritage. It's a weird thing to balance. Any thoughts?
Well, yes, as you said, I think it's necessity nowadays. But at the same time, I remember visiting museums during COVID where you have to plan your...
it's like you're going through airline security.
Or like a time slot for when you visit,
Yeah, but that helped a lot because I was able to see a lot of artworks without being surrounded by this crowd that everyone taking pictures loud speaking.
I see what you mean.
And but I saw that a lot in Venice. Like, for example, it took me almost 30 minutes walk to go to the university, while actually Google Maps was saying 15 minutes.
Oh.
So,
Just because of how busy.
Yeah. And so crowded, and everyone is walking in the same direction, and sometimes maybe not in the same direction. So you collapse.
Do places, like certain places in Italy, do they actually have a problem where they need to discourage people from coming because there's just so many people? Or
I don't think they will do that, because actually Italy survives to tourism.
Yeah, sure.
So
it's money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
A lot of countries need that. Yeah. Well, I went to Venice many years back, and with my brother, and I mentioned him specifically because we were both kids, and we were walking through the streets at like night or something, and going back to like a B&B or whatever. And then my brother saw this, like, he saw something like run, like skitter past down the street. He was like, oh, a hamster. And then some Italian man was like, it's obviously a rat. It's like a big rat.
Yeah.
And so Italian man's like, it's not a hamster. It was fun. Venice is nice. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
Do you want to play one more song, Elena? And then we can have some goofy questions for the last few minutes of the show.
Oh, yeah. What do we got?
Yeah, we have Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh.
Completely different from the other two.
This is where you see like you get insight into people, you know? They bring 2 like Italian chill songs and then 5-finger death punch.
This is Happy Hour FM.
Be right back.
But I'm only getting colder, wear a smile on my face, but there's a demon inside. There's so much goddamn weight on my shoulders, all I'm trying to do is live my motherfucking life. Supposed to be happy, but I'm only getting colder, wear a smile on my face, but there's a demon inside. There's a demon inside. Just like Jekyll and Hyde. All this anger inside. I feel like Jekyll and Hyde. Is there so much goddamn weight on your shoulders that you can't just live your motherfucking life? The story's getting old and my heart is getting colder. I just wanna be Jekyll, but I'm always fighting Hyde. You got rocks in your head, I can hear them rolling round. You can say that you're above it, but you're always falling down. Is there a method to your madness? Is it all about pride? Seems everyone I know, they got a demon inside. There's a demon inside. Just like Jekyll and Hyde. All this anger inside. I feel like Jekyll and Hyde. If I wasn't so deranged, could I ever face the pain? If I ever were to change, would the song remain the same? All I'm trying to do is live my motherfucking life. Wear a smile on my face, but there's a demon inside. All I'm trying to do is live my motherfucking life. Wear a smile on my face, but there's a demon inside.
The noodles have been spilled.
What just happened?
The dad metal has commenced.
Well, welcome back to Happy Hour FM. We're here with Elena.
This is us.
Last couple minutes talking about Italy, art, history, museums, curatorial work.
Yeah.
A quick question. It's a random question, but have you ever watched Night at the Museum?
Yeah.
How accurate is that to your work?
Not a chance. But it's fun.
It is fun. Yeah. I think I watched that movie a bunch as a kid.
That's a cool movie.
I always liked the Maui statue. Maui head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easter Island statue.
Head. Yeah. That one.
He just wants gum. Was that the thing?
He's like gum.
Yeah.
Gum. Yeah, something like that.
Man, Ben Stiller is so funny.
Ben Stiller. Yeah. Well, Elena. Yes.
We're at the end of this amazing show, and we've run out of all the. We're at the segment of the show where we're just gonna ask you some goofy questions. So let the shenanigans commence. What? I'm gonna cut that out. Posting the YouTube.
Shenanigans begin.
And then, do you have a favorite artist? Since you're a artistically inclined person, I'm gonna cut that out as well. Do you have a favorite artist?
Yeah, my favorite artist is Rochko, actually.
Rochko?
Yeah.
Wait, say that again.
Rochko.
I
think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if it's the right pronunciation. It's just how my contemporary art history professor at Capo University.
I trust you more than I trust myself on this.
Yeah, but at the same time, he was pronouncing Van Gogh. So.
So who knows what you learned?
Yeah, so I'm not sure.
I mean,
okay, is this the guy?
Yeah.
Okay, the guy with the squares. Cool.
Oh.
Yeah, it's actually huge canvas.
Rothko.
Yeah.
Okay, so for anyone at home, Mark Rothko, it makes
Rothko.
Yeah, he made that art that's just like a bunch of squares.
Yeah.
But it is very pretty. I do agree. It's like cubism. I guess it's in the name.
No, that's not cubism though, right?
No, it's all this theory about sublime and aesthetic. So actually, put it simply, is the artworks is not the canvas itself. It's you compared with the canvas and what you feel in that moment, being like 19 centimeters away from this huge canvas.
Okay, we have very little time left. Let's rapid fire some questions. So, as an art historian and a curator, what do you think of AI art?
Oh God!
Quick thoughts.
Really?
Quick thoughts.
I don't like it.
You don't like it.
No.
You don't like. Do you think it's art?
No. Next question.
I'm not asking you.
Maybe it can be, but I don't like it. It's cold, impersonal. Art is human beings.
How do you feel about like the fact that these AI things need to like steal art to learn how to make art? You know, they get trained on stolen art. It's bad, obviously. I think that was a loaded question.
Speaking is completely wrong.
Mate, I gave you the floor for the rapid fire round, and I can't believe you dropped the AI bomb on this conversation. It was going so well.
Another question.
I knew it.
You just chose a song from Five Finger Death Punch, which is very different from the other two songs you chose. What's your favorite musical artist? Or some of them.
Slayer.
Rammstein.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Rammstein. Well, the German in me is, I guess, proud. I don't know. They're fun.
Rammstein are sick. Have you seen them live?
Did you get to see them when they were here?
Not in Groningen, but a week before they were in Groningen, they were in Padua.
Okay.
So I was there.
Very cool.
Yeah, nice.
Anything fun coming up with the museum that you're allowed to talk about?
Yeah, definitely there will be an exhibition, Hoe Wanbouw naar Groningen kwam. And I actually followed the path of this organization, and I would really suggest everyone to have a look at it.
It's nice. So that's about Van Gogh, the guy.
And the ploeg.
Ah, okay. Very cool. So that'll be at the Groninger Museum then.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. Anything else you want to shout out, recommend about the museum, the work you do?
Just explore the world, explore exhibition, have fun.
Very nice, very nice. Great. Chris,
I think we should wrap it up.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, we've got like a minute left. Sugar Daddy Radio is at the door.
That's enough with the sound of music and get out of here.
All right, the sound of Muzak.
Yeah, put it on.
I'm putting on the sound of Muzak. This has been Happy Hour FM. My name has been Chris. His name has been Justin. Her name has been Elena. We shall be back next week with a pretty interesting episode. But I will not announce anything yet. Just keep following and goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for coming, Elena.
It's only meant to repress and neutralize your brain. So